when it comes to rev share, there's a lot of myths out there that simply aren't true. I'll share a couple of them here. Hey there, welcome back to my Epic Journey. This is Brendan DeVere. Thank you, as always, for tuning in and sharing your time with me. I do appreciate that. Here we are on the journey from 600 to 0 back to 600 plus, and the journey and everything that is within that, everything in between. So I've been getting a lot of questions on RevShare, and I get it. It's something that can be kind of confusing in certain instances. Whether or not you were in a RevShare company before, you are in one now, or you've never seen it. A lot of times, people have a lot of their pre-existing. We've talked about this before, like the pre-existing information that they have. So we call BOPK, right? The Bank of Prior Knowledge. Their Bank of Prior Knowledge, maybe your Bank of Prior Knowledge, hasn't seen a RevShare model before, or already know ways certain ones work. So there's a number of different models out there and the way that they work and things like that. So I wanted to kind of discuss a couple of myths around RevShare, as well as a couple of different models, and then kind of break down the simplicity of the Epique model of RevShare and why it's so attractive and appealing for those who do truly understand it, and trying to break it down into a more understandable piece of what it actually is. So one of the myths of RevShare is that the agent that you sponsor has to cap before you can start making money, which I've heard that one for a number of years. This is true with all models, all RevShare models. Like you don't cap, or all models that I'm aware of. There may be some where they cap and then you get whatever as a one lump sum. However, in the majority of them, you are going to get a percentage of the deal that's closed. So it's actually the opposite, right? It is you will get paid rev share from a closing until the agent caps. Why is that? It's because when the agent caps, so when an agent closes a deal, let's say an agent closes let's say they're on an 80-20, 85-15, whatever the split is, and then they have a cap. So let's do 80-20 because that one's pretty popular one, right? 80-20 split. Actually, no, we'll do 85-15 because that's what the model that we're in with Epique, right? So it's 85-15, and you start off with a $15,000 cap, right? So if you're at your $15,000 cap and you sponsor an agent, let's say you sponsored me. I close a deal. It's a $10,000 commission. I get 85% of that, and the company gets $1,500, which is 15%. So of that 15% that went to company dollar, that's how the agent gets paid. That's how the sponsoring agent gets paid, from that money that goes from there. Once I hit my cap of paying $15,000 into the company, then that $15,000, it's already been paid. So now if I go close a deal next and it's a $10,000 commission, I'm up to 100%. So there's no more money going to the company where the company can share. The company shares with you the revenue that comes in. Okay, so it's not all at once, right? So if it takes me, 8 months, 9 months to hit that number, each time I close a deal, you will get a percentage of the company commission that comes in. And so that's what it is. It is not, you only get paid when the agent caps. It's not like they go up and they almost cap and then, they didn't cap, so you don't get anything. No, it's you get paid each time. And when you stop getting paid is when they do cap, because there's no more money to be shared with the company. So there's no more money to be shared with the sponsoring agents. Excuse me. Another myth is that you have to cap yourself in order to participate in RevShare. And while this might be true in some companies where they may have that model where you do have to produce as well, at Epique, you do not. At Epique, if you don't even sell a home, you can still participate in RevShare. You can not sell a home and attract somebody, recruit somebody, whatever, and when they close a deal, you will get paid. You don't close a home for a year, but you recruited me and I closed the deal, you get paid. So that myth is not true, at least for Epique Realty. There may be some other ones out there. I have heard of some other ones out there that do that, but at Epique, it is not. You do not have to close or cap at all in order for you to participate in RevShare. The other The other number three is that you can or that you have to unlock in order to unlock all levels, you have to have and get paid on them. You have to have what are called frontline qualifying agents or FLQAs. Now, most rev share companies that I'm aware of, I don't know of any that don't, that any of them that have multiple levels, right? Most of them, you have to have that frontline qualifying agent, so they have to hit minimum qualifications in order for you to get paid the full amount. You might get paid a fractional amount on each of those levels, but if you don't have those qualifying agents, you have to by those qualifying agents you have to calculate. So this one is true and false because most companies are that way. Epique is not. Epique does not require you to have any type of qualifying agent up front in level one. So when that happens, so if you have one agent or two agents on level one, and then you have agents on level 2, 3, and 4 from those first couple or first few agents that you brought on level one, you don't have to have qualifying agents on that level one in order to participate in all 5 levels. The myth number 4 is that you can only have a certain number of agents per level. So this is also not true. And I see where the confusion comes here because I know that in certain MLM network marketing companies, like if you're doing, I don't know, I'm not going to say the names because I don't know which compensation plan each one has. But let's say you were selling an energy drink or vitamins or whatever. So they'll have what's called like binary, right? So you only have 2 legs. So you can only have 2 on your front level, right? So you're limited to that. But in this model, it's not that way. I don't know if any rev share model in the real estate space has that limitation on what you can have on the first on any level. I don't know. Maybe there are some out there, but I can see where the confusion comes from someone who may have may have experience in MLMs or network marketing. They might see that. For instance, I've had people ask me, "Hey, I can only have this many on this level, right?" And they're confusing 5 levels deep with 5 levels wide, right? You can go as wide as you want, as far as you can, but once it gets down to 5 levels, so essentially that would be, let's say you sponsored me, I sponsored someone, they sponsored someone, they sponsored someone, and they sponsored someone. That's 5 levels deep. So once it gets to that next level, there will be no more revenue to share because that is the plan that's paid out. And that's how the company stays profitable. So there is no limit to the amount of agents that you can have within those 5 levels. There's no limit. But naturally, it will grow beyond that, and that's where the limitation is. So you can grow as many as you can in those 5 levels. Beyond it, maybe you can still continue to grow, and you will. You just don't get compensated for it because that's how the plan is set up. So to make it very easy for Epique, the way that Epique is set up is that we start off on a $15,000 cap, $15,000 cap. There are different caps that you can have that you might have. You might be on a team. We also have a declining cap. So my year is coming up here in a few months, and once that happens, my cap will go down by $1,000, and my cap will be $14,000. So then I'll pay $14,000 into the company, and the company will share that $14,000 with the people that were above me. So when I say there's no frontline qualifier, 0. You do not have. You can have 1. You can have 0 technically. Let's say that you signed up 5 people. Oh no, I'm not gonna say 5 because 5 is a qualifying number. Let's say 4. You signed up 4 agents, and they all went and signed a few people on. They signed a few people on. Then you hit a couple people that were just signed a bunch of people. Let's say you end up with 200 agents in your RevShare organization, in your downline, whatever you want to call it. And those 4, so you only brought 4 people on, but it turned into this 200 agent downline. And let's say those 4, for whatever reason, let's say they got out of business. Maybe they all decided to retire. They didn't want to do anything anymore. They're out, and now you have 0 on your front line. You would still get paid on level 2, 3, 4, and 5, exact same, as if they were there, whether they were producing or not, right? So it's the same on each level, and there are no qualifiers. So it's very simple. It is very simple. It is 10% of company commission until the agent caps. So again, I've talked about this before and kind of gotten a little bit more confusing aspect of it, but it is as simple as there. You don't have to say, hey, I got 5 agents. Now I get to open up level 2. There's not that. Level 2 is open all the time. Level 3, level 4, level 5, always open. You get paid the same amount as you do on level 1, regardless of how level 1 agents are performing. So just wanted to give you an idea of that, because it is truly that simple, and I understand why it seems complicated, is because anybody who's seen some of the previous ones will go, well, yeah, if I get this, I got to do this, got to carry the one, blah 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 over here, and you're trying to figure out what payout will I get on this. This is very easy. We share 50% of revenue, as most of the other companies do. We don't have a buffer or anything like that either. So it is truly on a $10,000 commission. Like I'll do for my math. My math is terrible, and I can figure it out. So that's how simple this is. So $10,000 commission, 1,500 would go to the company, and the company would share 10% of that. So each transaction would be worth $150, and then you times that by however many other agents did a $10,000 transaction. So it's very simple to calculate, not confusing at all, and you're not going to sit here and make a certain amount of money for so long and then have a frontline qualifier or an FLQA fall off and then drop you down by sometimes tens of thousands of dollars for a year, right? So that's where it is. So part of one of the reasons that I've said before why I've left, and I made the move over here, and it was reason number 2 in my video, is because I had 109 agents on my level 5, and 109 agents on my level 5. For math's sake, we're going to go do and just say there were 100 agents on my level 5. And if I had 20 qualifying agents, those 100 agents would be worth about $800 each, up to. So you're looking at $80,000. But then if I took those, if one agent on level 1, or sorry, one of those 20 agents didn't qualify during that period and drop me down to 19, that drop would make each of those agents worth about $80. So we go from 800 to 80 times 100. So it goes from 80,000 to 8,000, which is a pretty significant drop. And if you're living life like you're making 80,000 on that level, and then all of a sudden you make 8, that's kind of a big deal. So that is where the FLQ and not having the FLQ set up in that way. So in Epique, you can make essentially anywhere from 500 to 1,500 on those 100 agents, right? So that's where in most cases, most agents aren't having 20 qualifying agents, which regardless of the rev share company that you're a part of. As I said, when I left EXP, there were 38 out of 88,000 agents when I left that actually were hitting the. Well, sorry, let me bring that back, because that's only 20. 38 were hitting 40 or more, which would unlock everything. So scratch that. I'll take that one back on me, because I did misspeak on that one. However, I did notice that not a lot of people were hitting that 20 either. And I would say I'm not even going to give a percentage, but I know it's not even close to half of people participating in rev share that are hitting that number. So I don't know, hopefully we understand now kind of how the rev share, like the myths of rev share in general, and then also the myths of rev share how they're tied to Epique, and also the rev share model within Epique and how that pays out. So if you have any questions on that, I know it can be confusing, but if you do have any questions, be sure to reach out to me and I'll get you those answers. So, all right, have a great one. I will see you on the next one.